okay? Now, I want you to put your finger right in the middle of your body, right there. Just put your finger there, okay? Now, by having your finger there, as far as you're concerned, this is where the breath is going to go into your body, down there, okay? And not only that, by having your finger there, you have some idea of how much expansion you get when you use your diaphragm, okay? Now, you're going to imagine that the breath is going, you're going to inhale your breath, it's going to go right down into that upper abdomen, right down here, okay? Now, you're going to purse your lips as if you're going to whistle, okay? And you're going to inhale breath through that tiny little hole in the center of your lips, and you're going to imagine that you have a balloon or an inner tube down here in the midsection, and you're going to try and fill up that balloon with the breath that you're inhaling into your body. Now, make a sound when you inhale the breath inwards so you can hear the breath going in, like this. Okay, and you'll feel your body swell up like that. Now, you try that, okay? That's it. Now, you notice how your body expanded and swelled outwards like that? Okay? All right, now that's the first part of the exercise. Second part of the exercise is you're going to keep your lips pursed as if you're going to whistle, and you're going to expel the breath in 3 expulsions. The first 2 will be quite short. The last one you will expel all the breath until most of it's gone from your lungs. To illustrate, you're going to go until all the breath is gone.
Unmasking Pseudo-Teaching criticizes the Edward L. Johnson approach to breathing. Editor's question 1. You've recently issued strong criticism of the breathing exercises taught by Edward L. Johnson on YouTube. Can you briefly explain what you believe is wrong with his method? Follow RealTenor's answer 1. The fundamental flaw lies in his incorrect placement of the breath support point. He instructs students to focus their inhalation between the navel and the sternum, right above the stomach. This area is soft and structurally incapable of handling breath pressure. Anatomically, this region is part of the digestive system, not designed to offer any structural resistance. By encouraging students to breathe into the stomach, he actually causes the breath to rise, which completely contradicts the Italian Bel Canto principle of breath descending downward. Editor's question 2. Many people are liking and commenting positively on his videos, even trying the exercises themselves. Why do you think this kind of teaching attracts such a following? What makes it look convincing? Follow RealTenor's answer 2. Because he speaks gently, uses exaggerated movements, and wraps his explanations in scientific-sounding language, beginners mistakenly believe it makes sense, but essentially he's using performance to mask the truth. His demonstrations fail to engage the deep abdominal musculature. Instead, he relies on upper abdominal expansion to create the illusion of breath intake. It appears to be diaphragmatic breathing, but in reality, it's a superficial gesture. There's no real establishment of the elastic air column tension that must extend from the pelvic floor to the diaphragm. Most beginners can't tell the difference, so they're easily misled. Editor's question 3. Have you studied Edward L. Johnson's voice yourself? From a professional perspective, how would you evaluate his singing demonstrations? Follow RealTenor's answer 3. Yes, I've listened closely to his singing. His voice floats entirely in the upper chest and facial mask area, lacking any deep abdominal or back support. He has no warm, expansive middle register. Everything is pushed out through the mouth and throat. The middle voice is the true test of technique, and his inability to produce a resonant, supported tone there indicates he's never built a proper air column. Worse still, in his videos he advocates exhaling in 3 stages, with the final stage being pushing out all the remaining air, a method directly contradicts the Bel Canto ideal of continuous breath flow and control. It's extremely amateurish. Editor's question 4. What kind of long-term damage can this method do to students? The most immediate consequence is a lack of foundational vocal support, forcing students to rely on their throat and facial muscles, which leads to quick fatigue, hoarseness, and even vocal fold injury. More dangerously, the body develops incorrect muscle memory. It's like walking into a dead-end alley. The more effort you put in, the further you drift from the truth. Many beautiful natural voices are destroyed in this kind of seemingly reasonable but fundamentally false teaching. Then, what is the correct Italian Bel Canto breathing technique? How should one build proper breath support? Follow RealTenor's answer 5. True Italian Bel Canto breathing rests on 3 principles: high chest, low abdomen, and internal elasticity. 1. During inhalation, the chest remains high and still. It should never collapse. 2. The abdomen, waist, back, and pelvic floor expand outward to form an elastic support ring encasing the diaphragm. 3. During phonation, the diaphragm descends, breath lifts upward, and the sound floats out, never forced. This is a fully integrated system of structure, breath, voice, and emotion. It's not about isolated effort or theatrical gestures. It's about deep physical and psychological engagement. Editor's question 6. How do you view the widespread popularity of videos online that, despite containing fundamentally incorrect teaching, receive massive likes and positive comments? How should we respond? Follow RealTenor's answer 6. The popularity of such videos reveals 2 alarming truths. First, professional vocal instruction is being replaced by entertainment-oriented content. Second, the threshold for vocal education has been dangerously lowered. We cannot judge the validity of content by the number of likes. In the digital age, it is more crucial than ever for discerning professionals to stand up for truth rather than follow trends blindly. I urge all vocal teachers and students to return to anatomical and structural principles, listen with your ears, feel with your body, and stop mimicking visible gestures as if singing were mere choreography. Editor's question 7. Finally, if you could say one thing to young singers today, what would it be? Follow RealTenor's answer. Always remember, the voice comes from the abdomen, not from the throat. Singing is the union of breath and soul, not a series of performed gestures. Abandon all floating upward, throat-driven false techniques. Return to a natural, grounded, and unified breath support, and your voice will become a true extension of your soul. Editor's question 8. Many beginners tend to completely exhale after finishing a phrase, but you mentioned that singers like Caruso, Jan Pierce, and Richard Tucker never did this. Could you explain the secret behind their breath control? Follow RealTenor's answer 8. This is one of the most profound yet overlooked secrets of bel canto. A true singer never completely exhales after a phrase. Masters like Caruso, Jan Pierce, and Richard Tucker understood the importance of preserving about 30 to 40% of residual breath after singing a phrase, a technique known in Italian tradition as residuo di fiato, residual breath control. Why? Because the voice is supported by the tension within the breath column. If you completely release all your air, the entire support system, abdomen, back, chest, collapses. That makes it nearly impossible to prepare effectively for the next phrase. Only when the breath system retains a certain level of internal tension, with the diaphragm still slightly lowered and the abdominal wall engaged, can the body bounce back to the low position state that allows for a natural, immediate restart of the breath column. Otherwise, the singer must start from zero, which leads to shallow, forced, or disconnected phrases. This is the hidden key to seamless breath support, a technique tragically absent from many modern vocal methods. Final remark, I still want to acknowledge Edward L. Johnson for his effort in popularizing vocal study. However, the core of his teaching is fundamentally wrong, and that is deeply unfortunate. Misguided pedagogy has led to generations of shallow, amateur singers. This, I believe, is one of the key reasons we have essentially lost touch with the true tradition of Italian bel canto.